what has been made a new rule in the NFL today that you think will be most game-changing this fall?
Well, if you look at the responses by players on social media, it's pretty apparent that the hip drop tackle has struck a nerve, particularly with defensive players. And they ran about a minute-long video of various examples of plays. The one that injured Tony Pollard, that was among the plays that was on that tape that people are probably going to remember. The one that Ryan Tannehill suffered one of his high ankle sprains on. There's a specific type of technique they're trying to get out of the game, and Rich McKay keeps saying it's not all hip drop tackle. There's the specific swivel hip drop tackle where you grab, you turn to the side, and then you, what they say is unweight into the back of somebody's legs or ankles. And that has a high injury rate. There was one hit on Geno Smith that people might remember from a game last season as well. It's a technique that the NFL, over objections from the NFL Players Association and over some skepticism that I've even heard here from some head coaches about how exactly you teach this technique, was going to ramrod this through. When Roger Goodell and Troy Vincent go up to the podium as far back as December and say, this is a play we want to get out of the game, you can rest assured they're going to get that out of the game. You've still got debate going on about the kickoff play. We could get a vote. I know they're back in session this afternoon. I think it's around 2 p.m. Eastern time. And then again tomorrow could be a vote on that potentially tomorrow. A lot of times if it's a rules vote that happens on a Tuesday, it means they realize maybe they don't quite have the votes yet. And so you might need to do some vote whipping at the annual reception that takes place tonight out on the lawn here. There was one other that popped up besides, the Lions had a proposal about you get a third challenge even if you only get one right. That went through. But Rich McKay said something really interesting while explaining the hip drop tackle and also explaining the way that he was asked the question whether or not that would be potentially reviewable. And he just kind of in passing mentioned that they're also going to apply replay assist, meaning where the replay assistant, without a challenge, even if it's not inside of 2 minutes, can stop a play or can say, hey, in the official's ears, hey, we got that wrong. You got to move the ball back or the clock ran, whatever it might be. And he said, yeah, there's a handful of times a year where roughing the passer, where, we think the guy's hitting the head and he wasn't, so that's something we can use it for. I went up to Rich after the press conference and said, wait, are you saying this season replay assist now can correct roughing the passer? And the answer was yes, albeit in specific instances, because what they want to lean on is where you have clear and objective evidence. They have always, the competition committee of the league, have long been reluctant to make other fouls, anything that is subjective, reviewable, because what are you doing? You're replacing one person's judgment, the person on the field, with the judgment of somebody else who's not on the field. So this needs to be as clear and obvious as the guy stepped out of bounds or the ball was loose, things that on tape they can see. But now, if it's flagged as, hey, the quarterback got hit in the head and you see on replay he missed and he hit him here, the replay assistant now can fix that. They also can fix intentional grounding calls if, in fact, the quarterback was inside or outside the pocket, whether or not they were inside or outside the pocket. They also can look at that. That might seem like a small thing, Rich.
Oh, it's not.
But in a league where you take baby steps all the time toward these types of things, the fact that next year you could have a flag for roughing the passer picked up by the replay official, I don't know if that's a step towards something much broader, a sky judge or whatever, but that is something significant that even if it's a small number of plays next season, could make a big difference.
Well, I mean, again, it does matter how it is presented, how it is officiated. And the way you just said is replay assist can pick up a flag. It's entirely possible a flag for passer, roughing the passer is thrown, the replay is shown, the refs are still huddling up, and then come out of the huddle because replay assist gets in their ears and say, no, we just took a look at it, pick the flag up. And they'll just say, there's no flag on the play. There is no penalty for roughing the passer. And then we move on. That's a different thing than just roughing the passer. They mark off the yardage. Hold on a second. We're going to now go under the hood and take a look. That's a different ball of wax. And I don't believe it'll be done that way, Tom.
Replay assist is what happens. They can go all the way up till I believe it's 20 seconds left on the play clock.
Yes.
Where if there's something that's obvious, this guy stepped out 10 yards back, they're able to correct that. What they're now able to do is that flag is thrown for roughing the passer and the stadium's booing and the officials are huddling up, the replay assistant can look at that, can communicate with the official on the field. Did you see him get hit in the head? Okay, he didn't actually get hit in the head. Pick up the flag. There's long been suspicions, obviously, that whether it's 345 Park or the replay booth or some combination of them might weigh in occasionally on things that aren't on the books. This is, as far as I'm aware, the first time that on fouls like roughing the passer or intentional grounding, the league is flat out saying now, we want the replay assistant to do it if they've got that clear, objective evidence. It's not subjective. It's not, well, he didn't really drop his weight on him. No, it's got to be something as clear as there was not the type of contact that the officials thought that they saw. Pick up the flag, and we move on.
Love it. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.